Welcome back to the second hour where we are talking with Catherine Njeri. Thank you so much for keeping us company. We've really had so much fun.
At my expense.
You seem to be also having fun, so it's at our expense. This is the magazine, and my name is George Njuguna, and you can get in touch with us on our WhatsApp number, that is +254 753 903 373. +254 753 903 373. So we shift gears.
Mm-hmm.
I think the laughing will stop for a bit because this is now a very serious discussion. After high school, what happened?
After high school, I went to, I'll give it very quickly. I went to what at that time was called, was it IMIS? It was at Posta Sacco building, and did a course there. Actually, the course was called IMIS. It is the same institution where multimedia in Rongai, they had a center at Posta Sacco. I forget what the name of the school was. Goodness, it will come to me. So I did IMIS there. It was an IT course. At the same time, I was doing a bit of French and a bit of sign.
French?
Oui, un peu.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. And I also did sign language. Yes.
I know a few people who know sign language.
Oh, good job.
Like what? 3?
Now 4.
Now 4. Yeah.
This is celebration of being happy.
Yeah.
Yes. Have you learned how to sign your name at least?
No.
Oops.
Yeah.
You're letting us
You have
down.
never taught me how
I will teach you.
I actually asked for a sign name. I go to All Saints, and All Saints have a deaf church.
Okay.
So I've served there like 3 or 4 times. And last time I told them, now you need to give me a name.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be wonderful. I survived without a sign name. I used to go to St. Andrews at the time, and that's where I did my sign language classes.
I think they're the first church to have the sign language church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they had an institute where people could learn how to sign. So that's why I did my sign language. So it was a busy year, after which I decided it wasn't making sense for me, and an opportunity came for me to do A-levels. Now, for me, it didn't feel like going back, but for most people, it felt like you've already gone to college. Why are you going back to high school? But I went back to high school in Uganda, did my A-levels from 5, from 6, after which I went to Makerere University. Yes. Yes. So, I did IT at Makerere University.
That's nice. That's nice. Continue talking.
Well, about what specifically? Well, at Makerere, actually before I went to Makerere, I started going to Mavuno Church. And
in Uganda?
No, in Nairobi.
Okay.
Yes. At that time, they were at Bellevue. Yes. So I started going there. And so when I went to Uganda, and I was doing especially my campus section of my stay in Uganda, the leadership of Mavuno came to Uganda looking to start a church in Uganda. And so I knew some of the people who came over, and I was part of the team that welcomed them, and part of the team that actually started Mavuno Kampala.
Nice.
Yes. So I was doing many things. When a church is beginning and it's a new plant, you do everything. You'll be teaching Sunday school. You'll be doing praise and worship. I was also leading a few Mizizi classes. So
let's talk about actually that. Your Christian walk, how has it been for you?
Well, as I mentioned, from high school.
That's when you gave your life to Christ.
I was brought up in a Christian home. Okay. You know how you know that, and every Sunday there is an altar call for people to, accept Christ you are amongst the number. But I think in high school is when now I really understood what it meant. One of the people who used to minister at State House Girls was Reverend Tom Otieno.
Tom Otieno.
Yes. I really appreciate his ministry at the school.
Was it yesterday? When was it with someone? Yes, it was yesterday. With some friends of mine who grew up in All Saints. We were discussing about Tom. Yeah.
Yes, a great man of God, really dedicated with his guitar. And there was a song he loved, and up to today, I absolutely don't think I can do it. That song can play fully, and I don't tear, because he sang it with such passion and such love for God that I desired to be in that place, to know what it means to have a relationship with God like he did. When he sang and he was leading worship and he was ministering, it didn't matter who was in the audience. It was a moment for him with God. When he was worshiping, you would have been there or not there. It didn't matter. But it was a moment for him to just worship. Yes, and it was amazing to watch. And I desired that. And I think at that time is now when I made a conscious decision to follow Christ, until I went to Uganda. And then a few things went wrong. And I did not lose my salvation, but it sure did come close. Yes,
there's something about Uganda,
especially around where I went to school. I think it's Club Central, and very many things happen. And you're left in the hostel all alone, and everyone else has gone out, and you're thinking, maybe I could just take a walk and look around and see what's happening. So you do that day one, day two. After a while, you're thinking, these guys are having too much fun. Maybe I should go and see what happens, so that I know how to pray for them. My friend, you will fall.
What's that scripture that talks about be very careful how you relate with an unbeliever, because they can easily pull you down.
Yes, they will. Yeah. So
it's stronger being down and depending on God than being up there.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful there was a church close to where the hostels were, and so when I discovered it now, when people would be Friday night when they would be going out, there was always a program at church. It's called UCF. There was always a program there, church that we would go to. It would be praise and worship, or a skit, or a movie, something that would engage us, so that, to fill that gap, so that you're not feeling like life is happening and mine is not. It's at a standstill.
Yeah.
So, it was good to have that.
Okay.
Yeah, so that happened, I think, during the first year of campus. Like being a mono in high school, you're still figuring yourself out. And you're still finding your place. But first term was a bit shaky, but by the second term I was pretty much established, and I knew what I wanted. So I settled down. I settled down and went back to church, to my firm foundation. Yes.
What was that song?
Which one?
The one that Reverend Tom...
My Jesus, I love thee.
Yes. That hymn is beautiful.
Yeah, my Jesus, I love thee.
Yeah. Let's talk about shaky grounds. I don't know whether it is your current situation, but you had a shaky ground at some point in your life.
Just one, George. I've had several, but
because of this discussion,
which one do you are you implying to?
The one you and I know.
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
Okay. I met my ex-husband at Mavuno, actually. After being involved in Mavuno in Uganda, I came back to Kenya. And the plan was, because I'd been involved in the starting up of the church, to go through an internship of sorts in training to serve full-time in the church. And hopefully to serve full-time, because I mean, you could go through the training and then realize, I can't go down this road. And so I met my ex-husband during that program, and we became very good friends. Now, the rules were that if you did not come with a boyfriend during the program, don't date during the program. But if you came, yes.
Okay, that's
it's a distraction. It's a distraction. Yes. But it made sense. But being young and being in love does a number on you, and you want to just do things. So that's where we met. And we became very friendly. And the conditions were that you needed to communicate to the church and to your leaders that you guys have an interest in each other. And so we did communicate that. And so we had people who are working with us to just keep us accountable in that. Close to the end of the internship, we decided that, I have found the person and this is it. And we did get married. Yes. In 2012.
2012.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How long did the marriage last?
That was April of 2012. 2014, July 31st.
You even have the exact date?
Yes, I do.
Why?
There are certain days just stay in your mind. Got married on the Easter Friday of 2012. And then 31st July of 2014, it was over. Yes.
What led to that?
Well,
if you're comfortable talking about it.
See now, one of the things that I have discovered in life is that when you're going through something, others are going through it with you, and sometimes they watch you and they see things better than you see them. Yes. So some of the things that I did go through during that time were unfaithfulness. That several times he was not faithful. And even through that, it was still his decision to call off the marriage. Yes. So in the end, he asked me to leave. Yes.
And how did that make you feel? I know it's painful, but how did that make you feel?
At first it was very difficult. I lost my mind. And sometimes I know we say that in a joking way, but I could actually tell that I was going crazy because of some of the things that were happening at that time. Having grown up with in a family, my dad left when I was 9. And so I was brought up by my mom. And I was determined to do whatever it takes to ensure that this marriage works. This marriage works. And so there are certain things I did that I should have done better. Yes.
Okay.
And so how I found myself is that the first time it happened, we addressed it, but I forgive. I was determined. Remember, I'm determined to make this marriage work and to ensure that it works. And so I forgive. And then it happened again, and I'm thinking, okay, wait, is the problem me? Or is there something I'm missing in this whole story? And then I think I remember about 3. I know there are some that I didn't find out about, but I remember the last one was now full blown. It was out in the air, and he didn't mind about it. So I was at home with him, but he would be out with someone else, and even sometimes come home with the person. So it was very difficult, very, very, very difficult.
How did you used to manage such situations when they brought her in?
Well, there are times that they didn't know I was in. Yes. I would be in the spare bedroom and I would be locked in. And even with calling, if they called and if he called or knocked on the door, would not open. So he would not know that I'm in. But it was such a depressing time that I didn't have the energy to even lift my head off the pillow. It was very difficult to wake up, to eat, to cook, to dress up. Very difficult. And at that time, I really did lose my mind, and I was thinking, okay, I need to snap out of this. But it was, you're not able to get yourself to snap out of it because you have been spent physically, emotionally. And at the time I was not working. Yes. And so you're also thinking, what do I do? What do I do with myself? Where do I go? You can't afford a house. How will you manage bills and rent and all these things? What happens? Do you go back home and say you have failed? And having seen the things that my mom had gone through when my dad left, I was like, no, this cannot be happening again. Yeah, so it was very, very difficult. Yeah, and even to get to the point where someone tells you, you know what? Yeah, you want to forgive me, but this is not what I want. I have decided to go in this other direction. Very difficult. Yeah.
And how was anyway, let's take a short break. This is very heavy. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we talk about the healing bits.
Okay.
Because you are very different. Yeah. You are very, very, very different. And Jonathan McReynolds with the song Not Lucky, I'm Loved.
I'm loved.